Alrighty, guys. So welcome, one and all. This is your host, IDJESTER. So, just got back from my trip. Been gone for about 4 or 5 days or so. I don't know. It's been a while. So, finally get back into the swing of things here. So, as you can see behind me, I have this huge box. Ugh. Let me tell you, this box is heavy. Ugh. This is my new collection of fantasy books that I picked up at Half Price Books. So we went up to Atlanta to spend a couple days up in Atlanta, and they had a Half Price bookstore just down the street from me. And so I was like, oh, we got to go. And little did I know I was going to buy a whole box of stuff, but let's see what's in here, shall we? So, here we go. So, you're going to see a lot of this, but this is the Wheel of Time. This is book 4, The Shadow Rising. Robert Jordan. Sequel to the New York Times bestseller, The Dragon Reborn. Book 4 of The Wheel of Time. Massive, huge hardcover book. $7.99. You gotta love it, right? I mean, it's only like a million pages long. Let's see how many pages we're talking about. 680 pages. So, book 4, Wheel of Time. A Memory of Light. Sequel to the #1 New York Times bestselling Tower of Light. A Memory of Light, Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. $7.99. Another huge, thick book. This one weighs in at, oh my gosh. And of course, somebody's trying to call me. Why did I start my live stream? That's always a good thing. So this one weighs in at just over 900 pages, 907, 908 pages, 909 pages actually. This is the end of the last book of the Wheel of Time. So this is it. This is the conclusion, I believe, to the Wheel of Time story. $7.99. Picked it up for. All right. Let's see what we have. Oh, look! It's another book in the Wheel of Time series. This is book number 12. Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson. If you're not familiar with the Wheel of Time, so there's two things to note. So Robert Jordan was the original author, and he passed away, I believe, completing book number 12. If I'm not mistaken, it was book number 12. He passed away trying to complete this. So after a while, his Robert Jordan's wife had convinced Brandon Sanderson to pick up the series and finish it up. So there's, that's why there's dual authors on this one. And this is book 12 from the Wheel of Time. So that's important note number 1. Why you'll see some of them have 2 names on it, like this one here. And this one doesn't, because this was originally written just by Robert Jordan. The first, I think, 11 are from just Robert Jordan. And the second thing to note is, if you love Game of Thrones, they're actually creating the new Game of Thrones in the Wheel of Time series. It's already in production. You can get on YouTube and see some information about the Wheel of Time. So if you're interested in the Wheel of Time, they're going to be coming out with the mini-series for it. So now is a good time for you guys to start reading all these massive, huge books. I'm not sure you'll get it done in time, but book 12, Wheel of Time, $7.99, hardcover, 700 and some odd pages. 766 pages. So that's the end of book 12. My gosh, my legs are about asleep here. All right. Hey, Clinton Parks, how you doing, buddy? He said he read all of them. Awesome. Lords of Chaos, Book 6 in the Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan, $7.99, hardcover, thick book. Another awesome adventure in the Wheel of Time, $7.99 from Half Price Books. Guys, if you have a Half Price bookstore next to you, be thankful. I had to drive all the way up to Georgia just to get to one, so 8 hours up. So I was going to make it worth my time and my effort because we don't have them down here in Florida. Half Price Books. Go there. You can get some really good deals. Support them. They don't sponsor my videos, but they should because they're awesome. Anyways, this is Book 6, The Wheel of Time. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, look, it's another book from Wheel of Time. This is book number 10, Crossroads of Twilight, $7.99, hired cover. You're going to see a general theme going on here. Beautiful rendition, awesome. Book 10, Wheel of Time, $7.99. You're going to see the stack keep growing and growing here. This is why they gave me this huge box here. Al, Red Sox fan, hello guys. You guys missed me while I was gone? I bet you didn't. Robert Jordan, Path of Daggers, Book 8 of the Wheel of Time, $7.99 from Half Price Books. If you guys have Half Price Books, consider yourself lucky. They're awesome, awesome place. You can get some really good deals. And as you can see, really good price. I mean, originally this price was $27.95. I got it for $7.99 in Half Price Books. Hardcover, beautiful, nothing wrong with it, no tears, no nothing on it. This is book 8. We're going to just keep stacking them up. Tower of Midnight, book 13. So again, if you're just joining us, Robert Jordan passed away. I believe he was writing book 12, and I think it was book 12 that he passed away writing book 12. So Brandon Sanderson picked up where he left off. He has very similar writing style, and basically Brandon Sanderson, everything he grew up reading Robert Jordan and emulated his writing style, and that's why they chose Brandon Sanderson to pick up the story after Robert Jordan passed away, and they wouldn't have done that except for Brandon Sanderson is an awesome writer. Oh, Al said he missed me. That's nice. So, Brandon Sanderson, Robert Jordan, this is book 13. This one is this one's a massive one. Holy crap. This is a big one. This is going to be 843 pages, book 13. Book 13, Tower of Twilight, or Tower of Midnight, sorry. Again, hardcover, beautiful, $7.99. Let's slide these back a little bit so we can get to the next group. Knife of Dreams, book 11 in the Wheel of Times, Robert Jordan. $7.99. Again, beautiful hardcover, original price $30. Massive. All these books are massive in the series, so really looking forward to this. And this is 761 pages. Hardcover, beautiful, half price, $7.99. All right, let's see what else we got here. Heart of Winter. This is book 9 of the Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan, $7.99, hardcover. Beautiful rendition, beautiful cover. This one's runs in at about 600 and some odd pages. 656 pages in the hardcover book. Beautiful, no tears, no issues, no problems. Beautiful book. $7.99. You can't beat that price. I can't see the chat, so I don't know if you're chatting. Finally, my legs. I can finally feel my legs. Eye of the World, Robert Jordan, book 1. Now, this is a softcover book. They did not have the hardcover book, but I figured I need book 1 if I want to start reading this series before the mini-series starts coming out. And I had started it on my Kindle at one point, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick this up. It was the only copy they had, actually, was softcover, and I kind of like the softcover a little bit better anyways. $6.49 for the softcover book. And this one weighs in at around 657 pages. This is book number 1, so if you want to start somewhere, The Eye of the World, that's where you want to start, Eye of the World. I'd actually read this a few years ago, probably to about page, I don't know, maybe about this much. So that was about 200 pages, 250 pages. And then I never picked it up because when you see the pile, you go, oh my God, there's no way I can continue this. No way. All right, here we are. A Crown of Swords, book 7 in the Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan, $7.99 hardcover. Beautiful book. Weighs in at about 600 and some odd pages. Where are we at? 663 pages. So you're talking 600, 700, 800 pages per book. And like I said, half-price books. Usually, I picked up my original series when I lived in Ohio. I picked those up from half-price books as well. I ended up selling them before I moved down here to Florida. Sold most everything before we moved down to Florida because we could only take so much with us. So now I have to rebuy everything that I wanted. And this is one of the things I definitely wanted, especially since the miniseries is going to be coming out starting next year, I think. So book 7, Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan. And The Fire of Heaven, Book 5, Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan. Another hard copy, $7.99. Beautiful, wonderful. This one's Roy's in at, excuse me, 683 pages. Original price $24.95. I got it for $7.99. Pretty good deal there. How was your trip, IDJ? It was basically the trip from hell, Al. Thanks for asking, but it was the trip from hell. I'll just say that. Because I bought so much, I got all these super cool coupons that I can't use because I don't live near half-price bookstores, so I might have to make another trip sometime. 10% off, 20% off, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and it's like a little calendar. Isn't that nice? Look at that. So they gave me this nice little calendar because I bought so much stuff from them. Half-price books. If you guys have one close, consider yourself lucky, as I mentioned. I love this store. You get great quality stuff for a really good price. I go there before I buy anything online or before I would buy anything from another store, any bookstore. Go to Half Price Books. I could spend thousands of dollars in there without a doubt. All right, and then finally, good Lord, finally, we're down to our last three. Last 3 books. And these are all from a different series. This is by Jim Butcher, #1 New York Times bestseller. This is a Dresden File book. So if you're not familiar with Dresden Files, think of like a Sherlock Holmes type character, but with magic. Somebody else is calling me. I don't need to talk to them. Thank you. But think of like Sherlock Holmes in modern days, but with like magic and special powers. He's actually a practicing wizard, and there's a whole bunch of really cool things that go with that. He's actually a wizard. Nobody believes him because people don't think magic. They don't believe in magic. They haven't seen the things that Jim Butcher's seen. This one happens to be Skin Game. And they're called the Dresden Files. You can actually pick up book #1 in the Dresden Files off of Amazon for like 99 cents if you want to check it out. It's only 99 cents. It costs you $1. You can read the first whole book for basically $1, and you can see if it's something you might be interested in. I already did it. We haven't done a review, but I've already read book 1 of the Dresden Files. This weighs in at 454 pages. I think it's really good series so far because it's humorous. It's not doesn't take itself too serious. Some of the things that he actually says, the writing in it is very funny and kind of gets you into the theme of what's going on. There's one scene in book number 1 where he's running around naked. He's being attacked by a demon when he was in the shower, and he's got soap and shampoo running down his face. He's running around the neighborhood naked, casting spells at a demon. Now, is that not the funniest thing you've ever heard in your entire lifetime? Oh my gosh. So, definitely check out the Dresden Files if you're into mystery, fantasy mystery. Kind of like I said, kind of he kind of like X-Files, where he goes and investigates paranormal, supernatural things that nobody believes in, and I would highly recommend it. Anyway, $7.99, Jim Butcher's The Skin Game. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, look, it's another Jim Butcher game, or book. Another Jim Butcher book. This one again from the Dresden Files. This one's called Changes. I believe there's 14 books in the series, and it's not like you have to read book 1 to book 2 to book 2 to book 4. You can read them in any order. This kind of sums it up. Think Buffy the Vampire Slayer starring Philip Marlowe. That's kind of a great explanation on what this series is like. Think vampire. He goes and meets in book number 1. He goes and meets a vampire and talks to her because there's this murder he's investigating, and he wants to find out if she has anything to do with it. And Changes. Novel of the Dresden Files. This one was on sale. It was only cost me $4.99. So I'm like, well, that's a for sure, right? That's a for sure. And this one weighs in around 441 pages. 441. They're not super long. Compared to say like Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time. You can sit down and read them in maybe a day or two. $25.95 original price. I got mine for $4.99 half price books. I love it. Awesome. And I can't see the chat, so if you're typing in the chat, you see what I see. I don't. Oh, wait a minute. I can actually. You know what? Let's bring the chat over to this screen. That would even be smart, wouldn't it? Let's see if anybody's quitting. Do be careful, get slow, slug your way through, and you'll appreciate it at the back end, says Clinton. And he's talking about the Wheel of Time. Al, sorry, sorry to hear about it, but now you're home. Yeah, well, the trip was not great. Let's just say, the trip wasn't great. The only thing good about the whole trip was I got all these home, and that's it. So last but not least, another one, Jim Butcher. Turncoat, Novel of the Dresden Files, $7.99. Original price, $25.95. Hardcover, like all the others. This one weighs in around 420 pages. Oh, no, that's the author's notes, so I don't want to. 418 pages. So you can check it out. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, starring Philip Marlowe. It's very interesting. Like I said, it's serious, but the guy has such a great sense of humor about it. When people call him up on the phone, he's like, "Are you serious? You think you're a wizard?" And just the way people react to him, and then some of the things that happen are just so corny and funny. It's just unbelievable. It keeps you, It keeps you interested in it. So that was my haul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 of the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time series. Problem is, I have book. Let's see if I can sort these. This is one. Let's see here. I'm missing a couple. So they didn't have all of them, which is kind of a bummer. I can always pick these up later. Let's see, this is going to be 11. This is 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. Okay, keep going. 5, 8, 7, 8. Let's see where I'm at. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Okay. So here we are. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a sequel. So I think this is the, like, before the events that unfold. So, and then this is book 4. Book 4. Book 12. All right. And a sequel. And then book 13. So I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the sequel, and then book number 1. So I just need book number 2 and book number 3, and I'll have the whole series, which is awesome. And then, like I said, I started my collection here, the Dresden Files. I already read book 1 in Kindle, but now I've got Turncoat, Changes, and Skin Game. Woo! There you go. That was the only thing good about my whole trip, was picking all this stuff up for a real reasonable price. Half price books. Like I said, $7, $8 for just about any book in their store. Hardcover, you can get the soft covers for like $4 or $5. You can get the little paperbacks for like $2, but I like the hardcover books. So these will go on my shelf with all my other goodies, but I thought I would share with you guys what was going on while I was away. So there it is. There's my box. Huge mammoth box they gave me at Half Price Books. So definitely, if you've got a Half Price Books, you're into any kind of books, whether it's fantasy, sci-fi, history, war, romance, whatever they have, they'll have what you need. And definitely support them. I love the company. If you got some old books, take them over there, trade them in. And it's a good way to, transfer books from people, and it doesn't cost you, $1 million to buy. I mean, if you were to buy all this stuff full price, $25 per box, you're talking $400 or $500. I think I spent where's my receipt? I think my receipt here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 books. I spent $122 for 15 books. So less, $7 or $8 a piece. But what a haul! Whew. Which one will I read first? Well, if you're going to read, you got to read book 1 before you can read anything else. These are a series. You have to read them in order, because the series of events happen in order. So 1, then I'll get book 2, 3, then I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the sequel, and book 1. So all I need is 2 and 3, and I'll have it all done. So, and then these, I'll read in between, because these are lighter, fun, this is more of a serious, commitment to your life to read these. If Quentin Parks read all those, I got to give him, full kudos, because this is a commitment. I mean, just if you look at the series here, You're talking. You're talking. Six, seven, 8,000 pages to complete it all. I'm not sure how much exactly it's going to be. 13. Wait a minute. How if there's 600 pages? Yeah, it would be 6,000 if there was 10. So you're talking, yeah, probably 6 to 8,000 pages, of reading. So it's a pretty big commitment if you want to do it. But like I said, the advantage is they're coming out with the mini series in 2012, 2013, or what am I thinking? 2020 or 2021. I'm not sure when they're going to actually start it. But if you love Game of Thrones but never read the books, like I did, I never read the books, so I didn't watch the series. I have no idea. That's on my to-do list as well as everything else. So this is another one of these. Well, you can start reading it now. Get a couple books ahead of when they start coming out with the actual miniseries, and then it'll be a great time to talk and converse and compare how things happen in the book and how they happen in the series. And I think it'll be a great time. And of course, Brandon Sanderson, he's probably known as the best fantasy author out there right now. So obviously, having him inspired Robert Jordan completing this series after Robert Jordan passed away is definitely going to make things very interesting to read. But yeah, just one book. I'm a real slow reader. So like this first book is this will take me like at least a month if I decide to read it, and then of course you got to go into book 2, book 3, etc. Yeah, I've seen the other ones at Amazon. I can get the other ones pretty cheap on Amazon. I think they're like 15 or 16, $18 for a hardcover, somewhere around there. If you get buy them used from Amazon. And then, like I said, Dresden Files. Nothing wrong with this series at all. This is absolutely. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I bought book 1 on the Kindle edition, and literally I finished that book in like 3 days, which never happens for me. Because, like I said, they're not super huge. They're pretty thick, 400 to 425 pages around. Um, so you can, if you sit down, probably 3 or 4 good reading sessions, you can have it done. It's kind of a lighter read. It's it's not too complex. There's not a million characters. There's not a million things you have to learn. You know, uh, there's a lot of really interesting things that happen. So it's kind of a nice filler fantasy that you can get through in a couple days to take a break from something like this. Now this, Wheel of Time, this is one of these ones you want to take notes and you want to compare. You want to really kind of learn what's going on. You really want to sit down and kind of delve into this one. This is more of a it's almost like a textbook type series where you want to get the most out of this. What I understand is you want to sit down and actually read these, but you want to take notes and remember which characters are which. You're going to run into multiple hundreds of characters. I think there was somebody had posted online, I think in the books, in all 13 books, I think somebody said there was over 800 characters, named characters in the series, plus locations and blah, blah, blah. So you're talking, a lot to digest. Dresden Files is not like that. This is more of a quick, one-time murder mystery or paranormal events or something like that, and fun, interesting. So it'll be a good break. They're very opposite ends of the spectrum, basically. There you go. I wanted to share with you guys what I got on my trip. That was actually the only thing that I picked up on my trip. That was it. This is the only thing that I picked up on my whole trip was this stuff. Everything else, that was it. So, anyways, guys, Clinton Parks, Al, Red Sox fan. Thanks, guys. I'm back now. So got back last night, but I was too tired to be messing around, and I was trying to catch up on emails and everything else. Got a million other things going on, so I don't know when I'm going to find time to do any of this other stuff. But thank you for your support, guys. We'll see you all later. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ugh, if I can see where I check out on this thing. Oh my gosh.